I'm like 2 hours into my trip. It's dark and my moped doesn't have good headlights. It's like super dull. There's like nobody on the roads. I'm 45 minutes away from my villa. I'm like in the mountains, no service. I'm going around this corner and I'm like following my headlight. And I veer off the side of the road and I hit a ditch. And I'm just like, fuck. I turn around and I see this dude floating in the water, face down.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Welcome, episode 2. The podcast.
All right.
How you
My
feeling?
boy Justin just got back from a month and a half in Bali.
Yeah.
I was there for a week in the middle of his trip and got back a day ago, and we've been waiting to hear his stories. So now's the time.
Yeah. Dude, it feels a little surreal to even be here, honestly.
It's different.
It's different. Well, like, you guys just got the podcast going. The setup is amazing. So it's cool.
We
like,
didn't do anything.
Just to be... It's sick. You guys got a sick setup here. But it's good to be back and, like, with you two. But it feels surreal to be back from my trip that I've been looking forward to for so long. And to kind of look back on the trip because I feel like mentally I haven't even, like, transitioned off of that mode, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember when I came back and driving on the big roads. Dude. On the right-hand side. It's a big change.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted you in here too. Mm-hmm. Fresh.
Yeah.
Foggy.
Oh, and it's as fresh as it can get. Like I'm telling you, because it's like Asia, like Southeast Asia, and especially like island life, like Bali. It's just so different than like the West or like California. So it's like coming back here. Like that was like the main thing I was thinking about. It would pop up in my head every once in a while. I was like, how am I going to like take everything that's happening right now in like Bali or wherever I was at, and like transition back into like the normal California life. I knew it would be kind of like tough.
Yeah.
Sounds like a classic ketamine trip.
It's a trip for sure.
How am I going to go back to reality?
That Bali hole.
The Bali hole. The Bali hole, exactly.
Anyways, the question on everyone's minds
Yes.
is, you went to Bali, you're a goofy footer.
I'm a goofy footer.
Land of the lefts. Perfect barrels.
Yeah.
Did the man get barrels?
Dude. So proper barrels. No, I did not make it out. And the last week that I was there was the perfect conditions for it. It was like 5, maybe 6 foot, like shoulder to head high, maybe a little bit heavier on like the set waves, but and just like low tide perfect barrels at Uluwatu. And unfortunately, I screwed up my shoulder again. So I spent the most tragic thing ever. I spent the last week in Uluwatu of my trip, and I didn't paddle out. I couldn't because my shoulder.
So
was
what
toast.
were you doing?
Like,
Tell us
with
what
my
you were
time?
Yeah, with your time when you were watching these.
I
lefts.
was the guy on the beach, pretty much just watching people get shacked, just with tears coming down my face, like hydrating with coconuts.
Oh yeah.
But no, it
Filming
was a
his
bummer.
girl.
No, you were up in the pool with the heat sticks and the bin tank.
Yeah.
We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing.
I was drinking away my sorrows.
Smoking your time away.
Yeah, exactly.
God, what was I?
But no, on that point, I did get some of the best waves of my life. By far.
Yeah.
By
Epic.
far. And it was crazy to be able to like paddle into some of those faces, and then you make the drop and you pump down the face and you just see to the end of time, just an open wall. And like I've never like experienced it like that. Like every time I've been on waves like that, it's been closing out or something. It's just haven't seen that perfect wave, and to be on it and just to see an open face for like 300 yards. It was a pretty surreal experience for sure. And then you were there when we were together in Uluwatu, and I came back to the place all stoked because I like made it into like this huge closeout set.
Yeah, you know the closeouts don't count.
They don't count. I'm not saying they do, but it was pretty.
We never posted that either.
No.
I need to send that to CJ.
Is it on film?
He's like, just his reaction.
Yeah.
And he's like, I dropped in, and this girl gave me a fuck me face.
No. Hey, now.
She gave me the eye as I
had that
dropped into
aura
the
about
barrel.
you. She wanted you after that wave.
No, dude. I'll tell you what happened. So I dropped in, and how did it go exactly? But I dropped in, and I cut up the face a little bit. I pumped once, and I saw that it was just about to curl over. And, like, I didn't know what to do, so instinctually I just kind of, like, put my knee down, put my hand in the face, like, opened my chest up a little bit, looked straight down the line. I knew it was closing out on me. I knew I wasn't making it out, but I was like, fuck it, we ride, just like, like into whatever was about to happen. And as I'm like committed, like as I like mentally committed to like going for this barrel, and I knew it was just gonna swallow me whole. There was a girl paddling out, and she was duck diving as I was like in the hole. And
hole, I'm gonna start using that.
Oh, dude, I was in the hole, man, hole in one.
Hell yeah.
And I locked eyes with her, and she was like, and I was probably just like, deer in the headlights, just like, oh, like so stoked. And I got just chewed alive. But actually, I was like always worried about like surfing those hollow waves because I'm worried about just how punchy and violent it is.
Yeah.
And then actually like being in one of those, especially on like super shallow reef, and like getting washed through the machine, and it wasn't that bad.
The barrel's the safest place.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad at all.
Well, when I lived in Hawaii, when I was on Kauai and surfed the reef there, it was like way less intense than like Mission Beach. And so I don't know, something about like, I don't know the bottom, like how it affects how heavy the wave is.
Like
but
the beach break versus the...
Yeah, like Mission's on a 6 foot day in Mission, I get slammed way harder than I ever did at like 6+ in Hawaii.
Yeah. I think it's like, it's just beach breaks are coming in from all different angles. There's no like one focal point. Like if you look at Ocean Beach, I mean, that's the scariest wave up in Northern California.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the scariest wave, I think, to me, that I've ever surfed. Just because...
You surfed it?
Yeah, but not big, you know, like, and it's like guys go out there and huge surf there, and experienced guys, they don't even make it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. The beach breaks are scary. I think scarier than a lot of these.
Yeah, which surprised me.
Yeah, for sure. Did
you
you ever hit the reef?
Yeah, twice.
Oh, good.
And I was not expecting it too, because the only times I ever hit it was on super big days.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and high tide, because on the bigger days that I surfed, I made a point to surf high tide because I thought it'd be deeper.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I was surfing Dreamland, which is like notably a beach break for Bali, or like the Bukit Peninsula of Uluwatu or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was the only guy out there too, which was pretty nuts. Like being in Bali, like there's crowds everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was by myself. Well, I paddled out. There's two other guys, and then they both caught waves and went in because it was legitimately heavy. It was the biggest waves I've ever surfed for sure. And
You must have caught that zone because like they surf like double overhead, like all the chargers out there.
Yeah.
You must have caught like the perfect zone where like all the beginners were too scared and the good guys were like, not quite big enough.
Yeah. No, here's what it was.
Or during lunch.
I was thinking about that. No, it was like late morning, perfect time to surf. But it was weird because it was, I think the chart was like 7 to 8 feet. And so all the good guys were at like Impossibles or like Uluwatu because it was just ripping super long faces. And the newbies, like they didn't have an option because like Dreamland Beach is like the newbie spot.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'll go there. Yeah.
Isn't it so I guess when we surfed Pararanan or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's a longboard.
That one was different, but like I feel like all the other ones that I've surfed in near Uluwatu are all the same. It's like endless lefts. Whether it's Ulu, we surfed Impossibles. I guess I didn't really surf many other besides those.
Yeah.
But like I thought they're all just the same.
Padang.
It's like Padang we looked at. Mm-hmm. It's just like
That's
endless
kind of
lefts.
beginner-ish.
It is. Yeah.
That's beginnerish.
For Uluwatu, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Padang.
Kind of nice.
It's a longboard. It's a longboard way. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Haven't spent too much time there. It's been years, but I feel like Uluwatu, and then what's the left?
Well, don't they all
Yeah,
just like
Impossible.
connect
Right,
into
yeah.
each other? Because like
They do,
Padang
kinda,
goes
yeah.
into Impossibles, right?
Yeah.
So
And then it's all one giant left.
full
Yeah.
circle. You can surf around the whole island.
You can. But no, dude, like I got dragged on the reef properly one time, and it was like, it was sketchy because I wasn't expecting it at all, and I realized how heavy the
Did
waves
you
were.
have your
'cause I
host
got
Stevie
pushed
rash guard to protect you?
I was like, no, dude, I was bare nippling it like titties
Yeah,
out.
that's where you went wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Make sure to get your host Stevie rash guard.
Yeah, but it was gnarly because you'd be around town in Uluwatu, you're going down the stairs, and you're watching dudes who look like they rip. Like you can just look at someone, you know that person shreds, and like you'll see their back, and it's all just like grated to pieces, or like people walking around with like patches on their arms. Like,
damn,
it was
it worth it?
It would, dude. It was a reality check for sure because like it lets you know like that wave, as perfect as it is, like it does not show mercy. Like if you're in the wrong spot or whatever happens, like you can like There's a lot of people.
Maybe
who
they
are
were just
shredded.
a road rash from scooter accidents.
Which is a
That's
super high
probably more
possibility. Super high possibility too.
You have you told me to ask about your, we got scooter crash
Ooh.
on the way to your Airbnb.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me about the scooter crash.
dude.
Because, so I went there in the middle of his trip. And I'm just like, this is the most, sketchiest thing ever to ride on these scooters. Everyone's going, in America, we're used to, normal roads. You go there, everyone's driving within an inch of each other. It's insane. There's, the uncontrolled intersections. Everyone's just, weaving in and out.
Yeah.
Every time you take a drive, and there's no joy rides over there. Every time you take a drive to go somewhere, you're like, wow, I just escaped death if I made it to my destination safely. But I never saw any accidents until the last day I was there. Yeah. But then I guess Justin saw some more stuff.
Dude, yeah. So when I first showed up, I was in Uluwatu, and I was kind of taken back. Everybody, I was kind of anxious about the whole scooter situation because when I was planning my trip, that's the one thing that people would say is wear a helmet, be super safe on the roads, and so that was in the back of my mind. That's gonna be super dangerous.
But then he wanted to look cool.
No, hey. You wear that helmet for 2 days, and then
I'll smoke a cigarette, but not wear a helmet.
Hey, man,
trade him out.
Yeah, but it's crazy because I showed up to Uluwatu and everybody was on scooters, girls, guys, people, families of 4, locals have their whole family and a box of chickens on the scooter. Yeah. No exaggeration.
Yeah.
And then you got even tourists, they have their kid in front of them, their kid on the back, and nobody's wearing helmets. And so I'm just oh, this is super chill. Nobody's getting hurt. Everything's normal. Everybody's riding scooters.
Getting hurt.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Exactly. 100%. And for the first 10 days until Steve got there, I was just cruising around, didn't see anything bad happen or no horror stories. But once I started meeting people that live there full time and just talking to more people in general, I realized how so many people crash their scooters in Bali.
Yeah.
So many. But
you didn't see it in the airport? Everyone in the wheelchairs,
dude,
all bloody.
No, but I bet if you spend time there, for sure, it would make sense. Because
I saw one person
in the airport. I just remember getting there and just everyone. It's all. I think they all crashed into each other.
Yeah.
Everyone was all bloody, bandaged, and just
wheelchairs. We gotta get out of here.
People are crying and people are breaking up over the crash.
Oh shit.
No.
Makes sense, man.
Did you scoot when you were out there?
Yeah. But it took me a few days to
Well, because it's on the left side of the road too.
For one. Because one lapse in judgment, you're oh right, fuck, you know, head on.
And you can't hesitate out there.
No, you cannot.
And there's so many, like you said, roundabouts where there's no...
Dude, not even a roundabout. Just an intersection.
A 4-way stop.
You're I'm going to start going out until somebody almost hits me. And then when traffic is stopped, then I can weave through it.
Yeah.
And what if they don't stop?
And if you... the roads in Canggu especially, they're a little elevated, most of them. Each side rice paddies. And you're going off. You see a car. You're driving by a car on its end, you know. Yes. And then there's a cow. And you're okay, well... I can't go that way either. Yeah.
No sidewalks. I tried walking. I made Justin walk with me one night. And you're just in the way of all the scooters then.
Yeah, tough. For sure. It's tough.
But go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
Not at all. But yeah, so I was kind of everything's fine. This is how it works here. Mm-hmm. But you do have to when you are riding your scooter, you have to be on offense. You have to be, and that's kind of the expectation because there's cars there and there's scooters there. The vehicles, the people who are driving cars, they're kind of relying on the scooters to take the ride away. So it's you see a hole, you got to exploit that hole, get through there. And you can't really hesitate.
There's a lot of hole talk on this episode.
Yeah.
You got to hit that hole. Yeah,
Justin's got something on his mind.
I felt like a running back. I was just looking for my corners. But no, dude, the amount of times I would see, because you can also just send one text and get a scooter delivered to you. Yeah. So the amount of fucking tourists that I would see, it's nice until you get the wrong.
It's very convenient there.
And you can drop them off anywhere. I feel like everyone's working together in the scooter network. I rented mine in Canggu. You can get surfboards
delivered to you. Yeah. Scooters, whatever you need. The Grab app, you can get groceries, cigarettes, whatever, rides.
Yeah.
But I was the spoiled American. I took car taxis only. No, I never got on the back of a scooter except with Justin. And the difference is like $3 versus $1.
Yeah.
But I felt like such a bougie, like spoiled American to take the car because nobody else takes the cars there.
Yeah. Well, I'll get there in half the time on my scooter. And you know what? The experience of driving on the
Half
streets.
the time, 5 times the risk.
Hey, it's whatever it is. It's part of the experience. Like, you got to get, if you go to Bali, get a scooter. And, like, if you're competent on a scooter, I'll add that. But, like, and then just kind of, you got to lean into it. Like,
Well, you feel stuck in Bali wherever you are staying if you don't have a scooter. I feel
that's a
like.
fact.
Like when I first got there, I was like, at the hostel and I was walking, but it's not a fun place to walk. And then once you get the scooter, you're like, oh, I'm free, and I can go visit wherever I want to visit, eat wherever I want to eat. Like it's not like before.
How did you get around? Because I lost my AirPods on the flight there.
Ugh.
And so Justin had like his phone mounted up there with his AirPods in, and so he could like see directions, hear directions. I was freaking lost.
Well, I was getting lost because I had this app called Maps.me, and you can download the map once you have Wi-Fi, and then you can look at it when it's offline. But like when I was driving from Canggu to Uluwatu, or even to Ubud, and then back to Canggu, then Canggu to Uluwatu, I would like go for a bit and like I would study the map, go for a bit, and be like, okay, I don't know if this is right.
Yeah.
Pull off, look at the map. Fucking wrong. Go back. So it took a lot longer, and it was a lot of trial and error. But I was kind of just like, we're getting lost. Like, let's just enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Go to these little villages. I'm this big bearded man. Like everyone's like trying to get my autograph and shit.
Yeah,
like not
seriously.
right now, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's the truth.
I ditched my scooter from Ulu to Canggu. I got a cab, car, and I took all of our gear, and Justin took his scooter. I just rented a new one once I got to Canggu. I'm like, I'm not scooting all the way there.
my buddy did that too, and I drove it. I was like, no, I'm keeping
We
it.
each play our part.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
had to
yeah.
haul the gear.
Yeah.
Mhm. Totally. Yeah, we needed you.
But that's a wild trip too, because you start to go on the big highways with
Yeah.
like the big statues in the middle, and it's like this.
The big.
Yeah, I mean, for a scooter.
Oh, yeah.
For a scooter, like
Yeah, it's the
felt like-
I-5 for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, of scooters, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
Wait, so what accident did you see?
Tell us. We haven't
Yeah,
heard the
so
accident.
well, a few. But the scary thing was the accidents I heard of firsthand. So it was like I saw the accident with you, and I remember looking at you and being like, "Okay, that's a reality check for me."
Yeah.
Like I said that to you because we were walking to the beach, and there was like some tourists. I don't know where he was from, but he was like clearly concussed. Like his eyes were all white.
His
Yeah.
face
Oh,
was
no.
ripped off, kind of.
Nah,
he
he
had
had
like
cut
his
above
knee
the
was
eye.
like scraped. But
Man.
guys. You guys take over the podcast, and I'll
Pop in.
I'll come back in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
But no, so I'm walking with Steve, and we're in Paranon, which is like just past Canggu.
Okay.
And
I know who that is. Yeah.
it's a different.
Is that where you go to see like the really nice sunset and the statue there, or like the old like praying temple?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
I only spent like 4 days there.
Okay.
And we didn't kind of venture off too much.
Okay.
But it's like a different. It's when I hear people crashing in Canggu, it makes a lot more sense
Yeah.
in Uluwatu because it's like super.
Uluwatu or Canggu?
Uluwatu.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
People crashing in Canggu makes more sense to me.
Right.
It's more concentrated.
Yeah.
There's a lot more tourists there. There's bars and restaurants on like every building is a bar or a restaurant. It seems like.
Yeah.
You
Which
know,
is great.
it's just it's great. If that's what you're looking for, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But and the traffic was nuts from like 7 a.m. to like dark. It was just traffic.
And Ulu's got these more like quiet,
It does.
dark roads, or like it gets darker, or like there's not as many lights or nightlife going on. There's like 2 or
Exactly.
3, 4 spots, whatever it is. But
Yeah, it's a lot more quieter. Like there's people
Yeah.
on the streets, but like you're not weaving in and out of people 24/7 like you are in Canggu.
Yeah.
But we were walking to the beach, and there was a ambulance there, which the whole medical situation in Bali kind of freaks me out in general.
I went to a hospital, but go on.
Did
I'll
you?
tell- yeah. Not for me, but go on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that. But yeah, and there's this guy sitting there on the bench, and there's a motorbike crash. We saw the motorbike tipped over, and this guy's sitting on the bench, and he's got a huge cut over his eye. Blood's like dripping down his face. I saw his foot. The first thing I saw was his foot. His foot looked like it was broken for sure. And the dude was like he was fine. Like he was scratched up. Looks like he's probably concussed, bleeding, but like he was alive. And I don't know if he was wearing a helmet or not. And I remember looking at Steve, and I was like, "This is a reality check for me, big time." Because
you weren't wearing a helmet.
I was off and on. Like if I knew where I was going. Like, I'm just going to this which is stupid to say.
It's hard not to, though. You get comfortable. You start feeling yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you just surfed. Maybe you had a few, I don't know. Like, everyone's doing it, you know.
Totally. Exactly. Yeah. I feel stupid saying it, but, like, when you're there, you realize, like, it's just, you kind of, I don't know, you go with the flow, right? Which I'm not saying is the best. It's not the right way to approach it, especially when it comes to safety.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, like, if I knew where I was going, like I'm just going to this restaurant, it'll be super quick, or I'm going here and back, I wouldn't wear the helmet all the time. But if I was just going to embark on a day trip or something, I'd put it on.
Yeah.
So it was like about 50-50.
Yeah.
And after seeing that guy, I was like, dude, this is a huge reality check.
Yeah.
Because like every time you get on the scooter, you're not expecting to crash.
You see it, then once you see it, and while you're there, it's different hearing about it than seeing it with your own eyes.
Totally.
So after that, you wore a helmet?
Yeah, after that, I wore a helmet for the most part.
Good. Or you turned in your scooter, maybe? I'm not sure.
Dude,
No, you actually went farther, I feel like, after you saw that. When Steve left, where did you then go?
Oh, dude.
So tell everyone, like, so you flew in,
yes.
You went to Taiwan. By way of Taiwan.
Yes. So
do you want to touch on Taiwan?
I do.
Okay,
I do. I'll start there because, like what Steve was saying about like the whole driving situation being super hectic in Bali, I was coming off of my Taiwan trip, which was 4.5 days.
Okay.
And that set the tone for the whole experience. Because in 4 days of being in Taiwan, I drove, I think it was like 400 miles.
Oh, my God.
In that 4 days.
And just because you're driving all the time or because you were moving?
No, because I was moving. I made a mistake.
Tell me why you were in Taiwan. Tell me why you had to go so far.
Ridiculous. So Taiwan is like where you fly from like LA, Taiwan to Bali, right? And I was like, all right, well, my goal for this whole trip is just to experience new things. Like I'm looking for good waves. I'm looking to like have some time by myself to like just be in that space.
Soul searching.
Yeah.
Maybe find a girl. Maybe fall in love. I don't know. Whoever it is. Yeah.
Whatever the experience had for me, I was open to. Like I was very open ended, and so I was like, look, if I'm gonna go to Taiwan, I might as well extend it and just see what that island has to offer. Yeah. And then also on the flip side, it's like there's so much like political unrest happening in Taiwan and China right now. And so part of me in the back of my mind was like, if something ever does happen there, I would like to say that I experienced it prior.
Right. Oh, interesting.
So it was super interesting. That's kind of where I was like, that was my intention.
I'm sure your parents weren't stoked when you're like, I'm going to Taiwan for 4 days before.
They weren't, but also it's like I've been doing this type of stuff since I was like 16. Yeah. So they're kind of like numbed to my kind of adventures, if that makes sense. And this is what I tell my friends. Like my version of fun is like type 2 fun. Yeah. So it's like I like it to kind of suck in the moment. Like I like to do the difficult shit, stuff that's like in the middle of it, you're like, why are we even here right now? Yeah. But then you look back on those same experiences and you're just like, you have nothing but positive things to say about it.
Yeah, you don't forget those.
You never forget it. Yeah. And that's what Taiwan was for me.
Cool.
Because I flew into Taipei and I stayed the night in Taipei and I picked up a scooter the very next morning. And I've already rode scooters around San Diego before, so I was comfortable on them. Never been to any Asia country at all. And Taiwan was my first experience in Asia. And in one day, I had to ride from Taipei to Hainan, which is halfway down the coast. And I mapped it before I even got there, and I was like, okay, it's going to take me 4 hours. What I didn't factor in was that 4 hours was on highways that scooters aren't allowed on.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
So you had to then reroute it to the back roads.
Exactly. I had to reroute it through the back roads, and that 4-hour trip turned into like a 12-hour trip. And so that just wiped my whole day away. Because it was like, I was expecting to get there in 4 hours.
And why were you going from Taipei to, what's it called?
Hainan.
Why were you going there?
Two reasons. Or 3 reasons technically. So my friend who's been in Taiwan said, you have to take a moped and take it on the East Coast. Okay. Because the East Coast is beautiful. And that's kind of what people do. And it is what people do. Like in Taiwan, they rent a bike or they rent a scooter and they take it around the island. And it usually takes them like a week.
Okay, I was gonna ask that. Yeah. Okay.
It usually takes them about a week. Some people do it in like 5 days.
Okay, so it's a big trip.
It is.
It's a big trip to scooter around
Significant.
Taiwan. Okay.
Oh, dude, the people I met when I told them, "Oh, I'm going to Holian and I'm going to get there today," they
We're
would
like,
look
this
at
guy
me.
is crazy. This
Fucking
Hallie
nuts.
is nuts. Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah, they laughed at me. Like a lot of people just laughed at me. Like, "Are you serious?" Because it was like it was a crazy thing to do, and I didn't take into factor two things: the roads. So I had to take back roads there, which took 12 hours. And then on top of that, it was the rainy season. I didn't even think to ponder the idea that Taiwan has a rainy season.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
They all do. Yeah.
And they all do.
Yeah.
And so I literally I have videos. I'll have CJ cue a video up. But I am riding my scooter, dude, through pissing rain where it's like hitting me in the face and it stings. My helmet's like at the very top of my forehead. I'm just praying I don't slip out on a corner.
This is why you had AirPods in that were linked to your maps telling you, like, Siri voice, turn left here.
Yes.
Turn right there.
Oh, yes.
So that's not fun either.
No, man. It was ridiculous.
But that's awesome.
There was a couple times where I stopped in tunnels just to like
have some reprieve from the
dude. It was like one of those experiences where it's like if you're not religious, you are after that experience because it's like that will make you like being on the road on a scooter in the middle of like a random country you've never been to before. You're getting pissed on rain. It's like that'll make you start praying. Like just get me to where I need to go, please.
So, but you made it there.
Made it there. Made it back. But like
you had to drive back.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
So you drove. How long did it take you? Like one way.
One way, 12 hours.
And then back 12 hours?
The next day.
Dude.
Yes. So
what the fuck are you doing?
Bro, my goal was to get there in 4 hours. And there's like an epic like national park there. And then explore the national park during the day.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's totally in the realm of possibility if you get there in 4 hours. No 4-hour drive is like whatever to me.
It's
fine.
Are you talking about Taiwan?
Yeah, Taiwan. I'm trying to preface the fact that like, yeah, Bali roads are crazy. Driving in Bali's crazy.
Yeah.
But coming off of a Taiwan trip, my level
mellow.
of what is acceptable on a scooter was like way different.
That's the thing though, like coming from America when you're used to like we don't think like it's big roads. Like you got a lot of space in between your cars.
Yeah.
And like you're not like close to each other. And then you go to like somewhere. I just went to like Turkey last year and I'm like, man, all the cars are like so much smaller. The roads are so much smaller.
Yes.
All the cars are super close to each other. And then you go to Bali and everyone's on scooters this close to each other. And it's like it just like changes your what's normal, your perspective of what's normal.
Or even like Europe, like Italy, you know, or something like that. Like Italians come here. Like I have an Italian friend. He's like, just go. He thinks everyone's a shitty driver because he's so used to ripping around little like Miatas or whatever, Fiats.
But you know? Like you do that, you drive like that in America. Like people are calling the cops on you.
Yeah.
If you like go that close to them and
dude, like in traffic, it is totally acceptable. When I was in Bali, like they're backed up. Let me just go right on the scooter for 1.5 kilometers, or right on the sidewalk.
Side of the road.
Yeah. The sidewalk.
Oh yeah.
I was ripping on
I'm
the
like,
sidewalk.
when I was following him, I'm like, please don't go on this sidewalk.
But
like, because I don't know how to get around by myself. So whatever he does, I have to do.
Yeah.
I have to follow him.
Yeah.
But when you had your scooter,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So sketchy.
And then
But
throw a
when you
person
were
on
in the
back.
cab, he probably left you in the cab. He's like, I'm gonna keep moving.
Yeah, I actually saw him a
'cause-
couple times when I looked up from my phone, and I was like, "Oh, it's Justin right there." But it's funny because like I have a pretty big motorcycle here, and Justin like sold his scooter here because he was like too worried about like traffic. And then we get to Bali, and he's like, "We're taking the scooters. You're not walking." I'm like, "Let's just try to walk there. It's close enough." He's like, "No, we're taking the scooters."
Here's the thing,
it's like
man.
Total shift in his like.
thinking that
You step into it's like a different
became
ballpark.
a Bali.
He became a
Justin.
badass.
Yeah.
I'm not naive to danger. Like I know it exists. In Bali, everybody's on scooters.
Yeah.
And everybody like in order to like for that whole shitty crazy transportation system to work,
You couldn't have rules.
you can't have rules.
You would not work.
You have to have attention, and everybody there had attention. Like the amount of times I've been on a scooter in California, and I rip up to a red light, and I look over, and both people are on their phones. That's what scares me. Like I'm not
What's a
scared
red
of
light?
myself. I'm not scared of myself. Like when I'm on.
There
a
are no
scooter.
red lights in Bali.
There are. But
But when we went to Canggu, and so I was in the car taxi, and
Yeah.
you were on your scooter. I would like look up at certain points, and there was like traffic controllers.
Yeah.
And there was also like cars stopped waiting for like a constant flow. It wasn't like the uncontrolled ones where it was like everyone's weaving in at all times.
Yeah.
But like cars were waiting for a group of cars to go past, and I didn't see any like traffic controllers. So like, do you remember like how there you just kind of followed the people in front of you? I didn't understand how it worked, like why cars were stopping if there's no lights and no traffic controllers.
It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain because it's there's a natural flow that happens. Like there's
I know, man.
I'm not
I
trying to
know.
get all woo woo and be like it's
Dude.
like the energy shift or whatever.
It is. It's just like
No, it's like a
You
bunch of
figure it
bugs.
out.
It's like a
Yes.
bunch of bugs. It's like a bunch of ants. You know,
Yes.
how does the ant know to do that? And you're like, I don't know. The one is falling in front of that one, and the other one's falling in the front. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they all might be screwed if the one in the front is leading them off the side of the cliff, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever go down the Canggu
did
shortcut?
you ever go off the cliff?
I almost a couple times. I did the shortcut.
Yeah, the shortcut's sick, but that's like real tight.
Very
Wait,
tight.
the one where the walls are there?
Yes.
But we walked through that the one night.
Oh, you walked through that? You
Yeah,
should've walked
and
through
then
that.
and then the next day when we're scootering through it, there was people walking through, and I was like, oh my god, we were so annoying for
Yeah,
everybody
big
last
time.
night.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dude, the villa I had in Ubud, to get there, you're going through a rice terrace, like full on. It was out of a movie. It was beautiful. But the road is the width of this table, and you have scooters going both ways. And if you fall over, there's like 4 feet down, and you're ending up in like 2 foot of mud. Like the room for air is zero.
Yeah.
Zero. And that's the thing. It's like, I never on those roads, or like very infrequently, did I feel like I was in danger from anybody else. Just myself.
Yeah.
So that gave me the confidence to really rip through those streets and like the sidewalks and stuff. Because I knew, like, I'm looking after
Well, hey,
myself.
you know what is it Tyson says?
Everybody's a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And I got punched in the face, dude. I'm like,
Everyone has
going back to your question about crashing the scooter, when you left,
Why would you leave him?
Everything went to shit when I
Why
left.
would you leave him?
when Steve
I
left,
had to take control of
business.
Yeah, you know, we got surf stuff to send
Oh,
out to
man.
everybody.
Changing mats, like the fella that just knocked on the door there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super nice guy. I
Was
forgot
he good?
to lock the door. I
Oh.
closed the doors, but I forgot to lock them. Sure enough, guy just comes over here and knocks on our podcast studio.
Could've had it-
He could have stolen
Could've had his
everything out
pick
of
of the litter out
Yeah.
there. It's on
Yeah.
everything.
He just followed the voices, I guess.
Very honorable, nice man.
Yeah.
He must be if he didn't.
Nathan, I believe his name was.
Nathan, thank
Nice.
you, Nathan.
right on.
But go on.
No.
Sorry, where were we? Yeah.
when Steve left,
When
I was
left and everything went to shit.
yes. Oh, don't even get me started. When you leave, everything goes to
Story
shit,
of my
Steve.
life.
Don't worry, boys. I'll never leave you.
But you remember, I was on edge because I didn't know what I was gonna do after you left. I didn't know if I was gonna go to the Gili Islands. I didn't know if
Too
I was
many
gonna
options.
go to too many good options.
Analysis paralysis.
Sure,
Say.
that's what
Yep.
they say.
Justin was just frozen there. What do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Too
In
many-
the pool, ripping a Marlboro light, just like I don't know what my next movie is.
Cigarette snorkeling.
Yes, the Aussie snorkel. You know that. But I didn't know if I was gonna go to the Gillies. I didn't know if I was gonna go to the Menawais. I didn't know if I was gonna go back to Uluwatu. I had all of these like options available to me, and I had like 2 days to pretty much come up with what my next plan was. And I remembered there was this one dude I talked to when I was in Uluwatu. It was like my first week, and he's actually one of the guys in like the small team of like surf ears. If you've ever seen those like earplugs that you wear when you surf to like stop surfers' ear,
Yeah.
he was one of those guys. He does like all the marketing for them. And I was telling him that I might go to like the Menawais sometime in my month and a half that I was going to be there. And he said, don't go to the Menawais. Epic surf, but the crowds have pretty much overtaken that
We
place.
almost went there, actually. He was trying to plan that out before
Yeah.
I came, and we were like, that will be my week there. We'll go to the Menawais.
Yes.
Like, would you get like, where do you stay? If it's not like a boat trip there.
That's what I said, but he
Yeah.
found some places where you just like take care of getting there with the ferry and everything,
Yeah.
and then you can surf right out front.
It's
Oh,
pretty
no,
without a
basic.
boat
It
trip.
depends.
Or
Like
rent a
you-
little boat guy to take you out.
yeah.
I think you didn't even need a boat, did you? Or did you?
If you're going to go to the Menawais, like, get a boat.
Yeah, that's
Get
what
a
I was.
boat.
Yeah.
But I
You
almost
don't
thought you had to
have to,
stay
but
on
get
a
a
boat.
I-
And
that's
it was
what I
like
kind of
a few
always-
$1,000s.
Yeah.
Or like I think it was like 3,000 for the boat, and then like 2,000 for the flights. Like, you go to the Menawais, you're planning on a $5,000 trip.
Yeah.
But then he
least,
found
yeah.
like some really cheap places if you can get yourself there, and then they'll take care of things.
Yeah, and getting there is like a 2 to 3 day thing.
Okay.
You fly to Padang, take a ferry from Padang to, I think it's
Well, a 2 to 3 day thing from here.
no, from even Bali, from Bali.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a process because the way once you get over to that like side of Indonesia, they don't have consistent schedules on their ferries, so it's kind of like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. So I've been told. So depending on what
But you just said you fly to Padang,
fly to Padang.
but isn't Padang by Ulu?
No,
No, because I'm thinking Padang, and
You're
you're
thinking
talking about Padang,
Padang.
Uno.
Yeah,
city.
Padang 1.
Okay.
The place,
Padang
not the
proper.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the Padang is like the one of the bigger cities right near the Mentawais there, and that
Exactly.
like not like a bay.
Sumatra,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. But
look at I was looking at a map recently actually, and my friends went on a boat trip, and their boat captain lives in Padang when he's not
which a lot of them do.
taking people on trips. That's how I know that city.
Yeah. But
But
that's
I-
the case.
Would have done
I'm just
that.
a stupid American.
No,
What
I would
do
have done that had I not been doing that last week. Looking at maps in my spare time.
Hey, you're dreaming for our team.
Yeah,
trip.
exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, exactly.
100%.
By the way, that was the silver lining of Justin not getting barreled is that now he has that desire to go back, and we're going to try to take a team trip there.
Totally.
Early 2024.
Or as
Yeah.
Yoda says, there is no try, only do.
Let my loss be. Let my loss be our gain.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I decided to bail on the whole Menawai experience because it just was going to be too. It was going to be a logistical headache to get there and back within 8 days. I would only have like maybe if I was lucky 4 days of surfing. And the thing that I learned in Asia is like you can't force shit. Like you
kind of can with the scooters. You just got to keep creeping
Dude.
up, and then all of a sudden
No.
you just squeeze through.
That's maybe one case, but like I don't know how to explain it. There's a flow, and there's like the way that place works. You're on their time. You're on island time. You go there with like your
Honestly,
timelines.
their island time is
It's
fast. Yeah, like we always compare it to Hawaii, and like Hawaii island time is like slow, nobody works. Oh, it's island time. Everyone shows up late.
Yeah.
And fucking Bali island time is like go.
It's all relative. It depends. Once you get like maybe if you're in town, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I showed up because I decided
Dude,
to
I
go.
left a house at like 6 or 7 in the morning,
Yeah.
and like so much traffic already. Like everyone
Sure.
going. I'm like, where are these people going to?
I don't know.
That early?
Beats me.
People are
They're
on
working,
that fast island
hustling.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
Hustling.
But that's what I'm saying. So like I decided to go to Sumbawa based on this pipe dream rumor I heard at this cafe from this surfier guy. Told me about a place that's only 2 islands over, perfect left, half the crowd, no one knows about it. There's still breaks there that don't have names.
Yeah.
You can score. That's all I've ever heard about it. And so
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I can't go to the Menawais.
What's the main break there?
There's a few. There's Super Sucks.
We also don't have to like out.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna out it. It's like you look up Sumbawa.
Yeah,
You look up Sumbawa. You're gonna see what you're gonna see. It's gonna be Super Sucks,
Yeah.
Scar Reef, and then on the other side of the island, you'll see Lakey Peak.
I think they got a
Yeah.
massage parlor with the same name.
Lakey Peak is the
Super
one.
Sucks.
We
Yeah,
didn't get any massages.
Super Sucks.
but
We didn't get a massage. Sounds like you did.
yeah, exactly.
I was scared. I didn't know what the procedures were there.
Yeah.
I just stayed away.
Probably good idea.
Yeah,
Or not. Just kidding.
or not, depending on what you're looking.
But go on.
No,
So Sumbawa it is.
Sumbawa it is. So I decided to go with
How
Sumbawa.
the hell do you get there?
Dude, it's a fucking process.
Yeah.
So you ride your scooter from wherever you're at to.
So we got super drunk. Somehow I convinced him to go out with me the night before he left, and he was supposed to leave at like 4 in the morning, and would you leave at like 6 or
6,
something?
yeah.
We got in a little drunk argument. Don't want me to post about your cigarettes on the stories, and then we went to bed angry, and
Never do that.
but it was cute, and then you left on the journey of a lifetime.
Yeah, so I left at
The
6.
ferry trip of a lifetime.
I left at 6, and thankfully I left later rather than earlier because
So I helped you.
You did. Thank you for that. I didn't get the chance to thank you.
Good things happen when you come out with me.
There we go. This is your answer, kids. Party more. But going back to the whole island time thing. So you have to drive from wherever you're at, Canggu, Uluwatu, Ubud, to outside of Sanur, which is like that port.
Been to Sanur, yeah.
Yeah, so you go past Sanur a little further, and you'll get to Mangus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like their fish. It's like a fishing and shipping port.
Yeah.
And they have ferries that leave on paper every hour on the hour, 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
24/7. So I was like, if I leave at 4, I'll get there at 5:30. I'll be able to hop on the 6 a.m. ferry, get me to Lombok. So it's like Bali. It's like Bali.
Then you go to Lombok. Okay. That's
Lombok,
yeah.
Sumbawa.
Yeah.
So you have to go from Bali, take a 5-hour ferry to Lombok.
You were just going to do Lombok, and then you're like, no, let me make it harder.
Exactly. That's my motto. If I can make it harder on myself, I will. Because the further down the path you go, that's what inspires me. Like people stop at Lombok, let me go to the next island, the place that hasn't been explored.
Dude, you probably could have found an
like
undiscovered island if you just kept going past Sumbawa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, we'll get into it, but you go from Bali to Lombok. That's a 5-hour ferry. Then you ride your scooter 2.5 hours across Lombok to the other port, which will take you to Sumbawa. So then you hop on the second ferry of the day, which is 3.5 hours roughly, to I forgot what the actual port is, but this small little port in Sumbawa. And then you ride your scooter from there 3 hours down the coast. And then
he's carrying my surfboard that I bought out there with his surfboard.
Yeah, 2 surfboards, a bag full of my stuff, and that's it.
So 15 hours.
15 hours.
Of straight travel time.
On paper.
On paper. That's just straight if everything's efficient and there's no downtime.
Exactly.
Technically, yeah.
Exactly. So I showed up at the ferry in Bali, in like Mangus or whatever, at like 7:30. Yeah, 7:30ish, and they were like, the next ferry doesn't leave till 9. So if I would have showed up at like 5:30, I would have had to wait 4 hours anyways, roughly. So
thank you, Stevie.
So we spent our time arguing about
yes,
cigarettes posting on the stories.
Exactly. So anyways, I grabbed some breakfast or whatever. I'm chilling at the port, hop on the ferry, do the whole 5-hour ferry. It's pretty low key, right across Lombok. And that was an experience in and of itself. But that was Lombok's a cool
Didn't your
island.
scooter break like a bunch of times after that?
Dude.
And did they break the boards on the ferry, or what happened with that?
Yeah. So everything up into this part of my trip was going super smooth. I was getting good waves. I was eating good food.
Yeah, we had a great week together.
Yeah.
It was a dream.
Everything was going so swimmingly.
Yeah.
Smooth, flowing. It was working. Everything was working. No bad things were happening. Everything was fine.
It was too boring for this guy. He had to
absolutely. I need a little bit of
I
struggle. I
do.
need type 2 fun. We were talking about that while you got type 2 fun. I need a little bit of that type 2 goodness. But as soon as I got to Lombok, that's when shit started going wrong, and shit kept going wrong for the 5 days that I was there.
Oh.
As soon as I got off the ferry in Lombok, I met a friend on the ferry. And we both had to scoot across the island, so we were like, let's do it together.
Yeah, you got a little videographer companion.
Mm-hmm. She was
catching clips of you.
Yeah, super sick, like longboarder chick from Australia.
Risking her life on her scooter to capture the moments.
Oh, yeah, dude. She was sending it.
There's probably no traffic there, though, huh?
No, it was super mild. Super
so
mild.
you stayed in Lombok, though?
No.
Okay,
nope.
You stayed in Lombok for 5 days?
Stayed in Sumbawa for 5 days.
Oh, Sumbawa, okay.
So while I was there,
gotcha.
for 5
okay.
days.
So you made it to Sumbawa. You're in Sumbawa now.
I did.
Okay.
But the second I got off the ferry in Lombok to scoot across the island,
things hit the fan.
Shit started to hit the fan.
Okay.
I stopped my scooter to say goodbye to her, like say our goodbyes, and I put the scooter on the kickstand. I get off my bike. I go over to give her a hug goodbye, and I hear a crash behind me. I turn around. The bike is on its side.
You did that already before I got there.
Oh, yes. And I did it multiple times after.
I feel like this is a Justin issue. Little clumsy.
Wrong.
I wasn't there, so I can't speak on it, but I'll say you have a
hard time.
reputation.
Okay.
But explain yourself.
Look, the amount of scooters I've seen tipped over and the amount of people I've seen, like, in front of my eyes tip scooters over, Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
How
It's
many
so
of those are
Well,
you
one of them was
referring to?
yeah, well, not me included, maybe 2. But the thing is, like, it's like gravel, right? So like when you put your scooter on like its side, you have to like kind of
dig it in
a little bit.
You gotta
Exactly.
test it.
Yeah, you
Make
gotta
sure
test it.
things are stable.
Yeah, and my naive like sense of self just put it down. It's good. Boom, walked away. Rock moves. Boom, tipped over. That happened probably 4 or 5 times.
Earthquake
probably
happened
5,
and the
6
scooter
times.
just tipped over.
Yeah, but
board okay?
no, dinged.
No, okay.
Bad.
Bad.
Like not watertight at all. Not even close. And so it's like
Duct tape.
Yes, duct tape. And that's exactly what I did. I was so bummed because it's like going here to surf. It's super rural. Like Sumbawa is very, very, very undeveloped. Like there's not a lot going on there at all. And so I'm like, the odds of me finding
Until
a
we
place-
step in with our development company.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I knew the odds of me getting this board repaired were like slim to none. So I did exactly that. I went to like some type of plumber's outfit, got duct tape, got over to Sumbawa, took the second ferry, got to Sumbawa super late. It was like 10 p.m. I'm exhausted. I have eaten like no food, maybe like a couple things of like nasi campur with my hands. And I was just like, at that point, I was just like, get me home. I just want to sleep. Like, get me to my villa.
Wait, they don't have silverware in Sumbawa?
No, dude, it's sick. It's like, you want a local experience. You want a rural, like, oh, you're in Indonesia. You go to Bali, you go to Uluwatu, Canggu, you're not getting that.
Yeah.
Even
Like
Ubud.
utensils? Like not like, it doesn't have to be like silverware? They don't have like wooden...
They do if you request it, like plastic ones, but
No.
People eat out of their hands?
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
I feel like
And they carry shit with their heads.
most of the world.
Okay,
does
but
that.
that's different.
Like,
Yeah, you can carry shit with your head, but like
you can
But,
carry
like,
shit with
Yeah.
eating out with your hands is like different.
That's it. I learned the technique.
Big-
It's
yeah.
all 4 fingers and a thumb, clump it in a ball.
You got 2
Take
good
the
forks
fork,
right
yeah.
here, Stevie. What are you
Yeah,
It's
talking
like
about?
nature's chopsticks.
Yeah, and it works. You got 5 of them. And nobody needs to teach you how to use them. It comes naturally.
My daughter.
Did
does
you
that.
ask anybody about this? Did you learn like from watching somebody, or did you just say they probably like just you're supposed to like go ask for a spoon?
No.
Like, did you learn it?
You know,
Was
you
this-
never asked the whole time, and everyone's like, "This guy's
Yeah.
this guy won't stop eating with his hands." There's so many spoons and forks back here.
Stupid American.
No, dude, everybody was. It's
Okay.
You had a
it's an
wrap.
it's an
on the
eye opener.
island.
It's an eye opener because they serve you the food in like little banana leaves that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
stapled
yeah.
together, and you
nice.
buy food for like $10K, so it's like 75 cents. And they
Amazing.
hand it to you, and you just walk off, and that's it. And you just have your hands, and that's like how it rolls down there.
Is
And
it like a you know the Freezy Pops where you just like push it up? Are you supposed to like push it out of the banana peels and eat
maybe,
it?
maybe. I haven't seen it, but maybe that's
Kind
the
of
case.
with hot food to do
Yeah, exactly.
Or like a hot pocket, I guess. It's kind of comes out of the
Yeah.
container, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, but I get off. So I'm hungry. I'm severely dehydrated, and all that's going through my mind is like, okay, I have a 3-hour drive ahead of me. I've already gone like 16 hours at this point. Like, just go. Like, make it happen. Get home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and also in the back of my mind, I'm just like, that Airbnb better be ready for me, because I'm showing up super late. There's no communication. That's the thing. It was a shit show. There's no
Did you have
communication.
service?
I had service, but there's no communication with the villa. Like the people who
Well, how did
managed
you
it or anything.
how did you book it?
I booked it
Through
through
email?
booking.com. And there was no contact information.
I still get emails from booking.com from my time in Bali.
Yeah.
Chad, are you ready to go back?
Yes. Yeah.
We'll get you back there.
Yep.
Let's do it.
But there's like no communication I have with these guys prior. So I'm like, I'm gonna show up at midnight, and there better be a place for me to sleep. Like, that's all I'm asking for here. It doesn't have to be nice. And
Although you slept under the stars a couple nights at our villas.
totally. So
Yeah.
like I don't need much.
Yeah.
I just need a place where I can
You just
hang
need
my head.
the most expensive, comfortable patio furniture. to sleep
I don't
on.
need much. What, a 270-degree ocean view? What?
In a pool.
Just need a cliff top at Uluwatu. That's all.
Come on. All I'm asking for is open staff. Like, don't pan me out for somebody I'm not. But anyways, I get there.
And a pack of cigarettes.
I get yeah, exactly. You motherfucker. I'm joking. But I'm like 2 hours into my trip. It's dark, and my moped doesn't have good headlights. It's like super dull. And the thing that, like, when you're riding mopeds, you have to look way ahead in front of you. That's how you maintain, like, a super nice, even, like, ride. And you look where, it's like the classic thing, look where you want to go, not where you are.
Any sport.
Yeah.
Including mopeding and Bali.
Yeah, surfing,
Snowboarding,
mopeding.
biking. Like, you don't want to do 360, you got to turn your head.
Exactly. You want to look ahead of yourself. And when your headlights are bad, it's nighttime, you're looking right in front of you. And so there's, like, turns would come up, even though you're going really slow, you're like, you're so much more uncomfortable. And there's, like, nobody on the roads, dude. There's, like, nobody on the roads. I'm 45 minutes away from my villa. And I'm going down, I'm, like, in the mountains, no service. I'm going around this corner, and I'm, like, following my headlight, which is, like, right in front of me. And I veer off the road. I'm paying attention. Like, I'm fully paying attention. I'm not, like, I'm sleep deprived, but I'm not dozing off. And I veer off the side of the road, and I hit a ditch, dude.
I thought you said deer at first.
No.
I hit a ditch.
I hit a ditch. I hit a ditch, and I'm just like, fuck. And
so why'd you veer off? Just because you couldn't see?
I couldn't see.
Couldn't see the turn kind of thing?
I saw the turn, but I overcompensated for the turn. So I was turning too much.
Oh, my God.
Like, the visibility was actually really tough.
Sounds questionable.
I know it does. It's hard to explain.
So you
turned too tight?
Yeah, I turned too tight.
So you hit a ditch, then you're in the ditch.
Yeah.
What do you decide? I live here now? Or
Definitely sleep deprived.
Probably. But I'm in the ditch. The bike didn't tip over. I still have full control of it. I'm standing on each side. And somebody comes up from behind me, thankfully, and he pulls over, and he's like, let me help you out.
A shaman.
Yeah, my shaman, my modern version of Jesus.
As soon as Justin needs anything, he just wills it into existence. It's crazy.
Dude, that island gives you not what you want, but what you need at all times. And I've learned that the hard way.
And what you want.
It depends, man. It depends on what you want. But I guess I was looking for a hard time. I got it. I got it. And he helps me get the bike out. He goes in front of me. He leaves. I have it. And I start going down.
Would you guys just, like, walk it up together or what?
No. So it wasn't
Did you guys talk much? Or
He didn't speak English.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't even remember what he said to me. Just
it's pretty clear what happened.
It was very clear what happened. He's like, let me get your bike out of this hole. And
back to the holes.
Back to the hole.
Yeah. So he reaches for the back of the bike, gets it out of this gutter with me. I never tipped the bike over, so, like, I never assessed the situation of the damage, if there was any damage. And I was going really slow, so I assumed there was no damage. I just was stuck. The front wheel was stuck.
Well, you framed this differently in your stories. You made it sound like the ferry people, but go on with your...
I didn't.
That's what I thought. I got it tipped over in the ferry.
I didn't talk about this in the story. I didn't talk about this part in the story.
That's a very important part.
Yes.
Tell us.
And because I don't want to say, like, because I don't want people to assume that I'm irresponsible, right? Like, I was very responsible when I got on the scooters.
What is it called? Exposed? No.
Yeah, exactly. The real me is out. But he zips off in front of me. I get the moped going. I have 45 minutes to get to my villa. And I start going down this hill, and the handlebars are just shaking so violently.
Oh, no.
Where I have to go, like, 25 kilometers an hour. Like, just so slow. And if I go any faster, it starts shaking, like, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. But at this point, I knew there was damage to my scooter. There's nowhere to stay. You're in the middle of it's a rural island. There's not shit there. There's nothing there. And I was like, I don't care what damage I do to this moped. I'm getting to where I am going. And that is it.
Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun. I don't care what happens. I don't care what I have to go through, who I have to kill. I am getting to my villa tonight. And that is what's going to happen. And I was, like, starting to get a little crazy. Like, like...
Start rubbing mud on your feet.
Exactly.
Dude, let's fucking go.
Like, what's that movie Vacation where they go to Wally World?
Oh, yeah.
And the dad at the very end of the movie's like, we're going to have a fucking good time.
Yeah.
Like, that was me.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to make it there. God damn it. We're going to go.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm making it there. And I'm, like, shaking. The bike's going. Like, an hour and a half go by. And the directions to my villa was, like, follow this dirt road. It took me to coordinates. It was like, follow this dirt road and follow to the very end. The villa's at the very end of this dirt road. Okay.
So fucking villa, man.
Dude, no, this place honestly threw me through the ringer. I get on this dirt road that I found, and I'm following it, and it splits off into 5 different directions. It's 1 a.m. at this point.
We call it the fingers. 5 fingers.
Exactly. And I don't know what hole to take. You're right. I'm just trying to find my hole out here.
So what'd you go with? The thumb, the pointer, the middle, the ring, or the pinky?
I went with the thumb.
You went with the thumb?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Left
You were
only.
just going to start with the thumb and then come back, go pointer. weren't you?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I went, dude,
Strategy.
bro, it was
like it.
ridiculous. I went all the way to the left, followed that all the way to the end. Nothing. I
Okay.
come back, go to the pointer one, follow that all the way to the end. And these are long roads and they're bumpy. So it's like each time I go to the end, it's taking me like 30 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
It's not like a short little let's
What's
see
at
what's
the
going
end?
on. Nothing. It's just dead ends.
There's no house.
No house? Houses
There's like
or anything, or
there's something
huts?
like farms. It's like
Okay.
I'll have CJ queue up a video because I took some videos, but it's like during the daytime. But it's just like farms, like places where there's cattle running around. And a lot of the times it's just like dirt roads to nothing. It's kind of how it works out there. And so I follow like 4 of these points.
Sounds nice.
It's ridiculous.
I feel like people don't build roads to nothing, but
Well, it seemed like nothing.
Yeah.
But
That's the title of my next album.
Yeah, exactly.
The Road to Nowhere.
The road to nowhere. That's what it was. And I follow the 4th one, and again, like clearly there's nothing at the end of this road. I turn around, I go back to the thumb. And I go back to the thumb because there was a house at
You
the
went
end.
back to the
I
thumb?
went back to the thumb.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, went back to the thumb because at the
Because
end.
you thought you missed something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because that
so
was,
you were
it
going
made-
down the pointer saying, I think there was something back at the fucking
made,
thumb.
Exactly. It made the most sense.
Okay.
It made the most sense. And I was like, in the back of my mind too, it was like, I hope to God my villa is at the end of this road. If it is, these people are out of their goddamn minds to assume people can make it here. Because it's like...
I don't think they care.
They don't care. That is what I learned. They don't care. And I go all the way to the end of this thumb. Again, it's like 1 a.m. I'm so exhausted, so hungry at this point. And there's like a little house. And I literally go through the latch of this guy's like farm. And I'm like, hello? Hello? Like hoping to wake up. He's like, what? In like this super loud, like old... Like, have you ever heard someone's voice and you're just like, I know what that person looks like.
Yeah.
It was that. It was that. Like when this dude was like, what? And like this old Indonesian, like just, like he had like there was.
It's happened before.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I was like,
who goes to his house and calls out for help and is not staying there?
this guy
That's not the place.
wasn't staying there. No, I was just asking for help.
Oh my
I
God.
was fucking
Oh,
lost,
shit, I
man.
thought-
This is back on the thumb.
This is back on the
I
thumb.
thought you
Because
found
you
the
didn't want to
spot.
go to the middle finger because we all
See,
know
you
what
should have just
happens.
gone to
Yeah.
the middle finger.
Huh?
You should have gone to the middle finger.
Well,
You wouldn't have
We all know what
angered
happens
this.
at the middle
Dude,
finger.
I followed-
We're about to
You get
find the hole.
Yeah. I followed all those roads.
So this old man who looks exactly like his voice
yeah
comes out.
No, he doesn't come out.
Oh, he doesn't come out.
He's like, what? And I was like, I'm lost. I'm trying to get to where I need to
You're
sleep.
just shouting out into the
I'm
darkness.
shouting to his house. I'm shouting
Yeah.
to his house.
Scary for him, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like,
Hey!
I'm sorry, dude. I'm staying somewhere close to here. I don't know how to get to where I need to sleep tonight. And he doesn't even respond. And so I'm like, all
Well, he
right.
doesn't understand. Justin also adds a lot of. I tried to help him. I forget what the phrases that you used were, but instead of like, "Can I have something?" He'd be like,
Do
could
you
could you
have-
please do for me?" Like he'd say it so fast and like
Yeah,
this.
good
like,
sir, could you please bid me a new glass of water?
Like talking so fast and properly, like just,
Yeah, they
don't-
got it. They got it.
Yeah.
They know what they're saying. They know what I'm saying. But, anyways, this guy was like very clearly proved to be like not helpful whatsoever. And I start going up this little side road on the thumb, like super narrow. And I'm thinking, this is where I came to the mental conclusion that I'm going to go to the end of this road and I'm going to sleep at the end of this road, or I'm going to find my villa.
Yeah.
And I was just pissed at this point. I was just spent is the best way to say it. I was mentally spent, like, and then some. I was just like so just irritated by the whole experience I was having, and because I'm also coming to the realization that like the odds of me sleeping on the side of this road are high, and this sucks. Going through that mental decision of like I'm going to get to where I'm going or sleep at the end of this road. That was
I'm
where
gonna
it
get
set
to where
in
I'm
for
going
me.
or sleep trying.
Yeah, it was like, dude, it was a mental.
new bumper stickers
It
hitting
was
the
shitty.
site.
It was shitty to be like.
But kind of peaceful, maybe.
It was
Like, hey,
yeah.
I'm there's finality to whatever's going on now. I'm either gonna fucking get there or I'm gonna sleep here.
Yeah, there was like I guess a little bit of sense of security knowing that it's almost over.
Because
Because it was a long day.
Yeah, for sure.
Long day. And I'm already thinking like I have a button up. I have 2 button ups in my backpack. Like I'll be able to put both of them on and sleep on my backpack and be fine. And this road going up to this place was so sketchy. And the road, the rocks were huge. It was straight up. I'm like, there's no way there can be a villa out here. There's no chance. And I followed this like super narrow road for like 25 minutes. And at the very end of it, I see a light.
Were you listening to music in your AirPods?
No, no. I was past that point. Once
did they die or did you just not?
No, once I got to the 5 fingers that we talked about, I turned off my music. Honestly, I think after the crash, I turned off my music because I just wanted to be super focused.
Yeah.
And I remember the song that I was playing on that crash.
Did I miss out on the crash talk?
No, where I hit the. It wasn't
your
a
crash.
Tight turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant something.
Because also, if you have music playing, it affects your vision.
Does it?
No.
That's why it's like you said it so confident.
That's why everyone turns the radio down when they're parking.
Yeah. Oh,
hold on, I can't see. Turn that down.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But go on, sorry.
But no,
I thought that was only my mom.
all of us. But I see this light at the end of this road, and I get there, and I'm like, okay, whether it's my villa or not, like I have a place to sleep tonight, thank God. And I walk down these steps and into like what I realized was my villa, and I have my backpack on. I was a dead man walking. Like my eyes were just dead. I had no emotion. And I see some guy bending over, and he's like picking up trash. It's 2 a.m. I don't even know why this guy's awake. And he's like picking up trash or like picking weeds or something in the middle of the night. And I walk up behind him, and I'm like, hey. And he turns around. This fucking guy.
Best pickup line ever.
Yeah. This guy turns around.
You come up, don't make eye contact, just surprise him from behind and say, hey.
Yeah, and it works every time.
What up?
60% of the time, it works every time. But this dude turned around and was like, ah! Like that, I swear to God.
Sick.
Both hands out,
like
but in
that.
karate chop. And I was like, I literally was like.
He's probably never seen another person in his life.
You did flinch?
The most.
Or did you go
Dude,
back at him?
I
would have gone.
didn't even flinch because I was so fed up with everything. I literally just looked down like, I'm Justin Gregory. I'm supposed to check in today. Just like that. And he's like, Mr. Ferdy! And he starts yelling into the mist. Just starts yelling. He's like, Ferdy, wake up. Our guest is here. Wake up. And I'm just standing there. And he's like, what do you need? Do you need fried rice? Do you want fried? He's like offering to cook me food. And I'm like, I want a place to stay. Like, please. It's like, just show me where I can sleep. And this kid comes out of the hut. He shows me my place. I fall asleep. I'm there. Like, that was my journey getting to Sumbawa. And
so it was down the thumb all along?
Down the thumb all along, but there's a little cutout to the right.
The thumb had its own thumb to go
It
off
did.
Kind of makes sense because, fucking
Yeah,
thumbs up,
you know,
dude. Hey,
Silly me.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I got there, and that was that would set the tone for the whole trip. I just didn't realize it at the time. But like the following 4 days,
So then, like, it only could get better from there?
it only got worse.
Wait, is this the place that you ended up with, like, where the monkeys jumped you?
No, that was in Uluwatu.
Okay.
But
That's classic.
That's funny, too.
that was
The
classic.
thing that's rare that most of us don't get to experience is what this man found on his fishing trip.
Yeah.
I want to hear about this.
Yeah. So on top of like everything that I went through to get there, for one, a broken board, so I can't even surf if the waves are good. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I wake up and the first thing I do is I eat a little bit of food and I check all the surf spots. I'm not blowing up spots. You can look up Sumbawa. You're gonna see the same place. It's like Super Sucks. I check out Tropicals, Yo-Yos, and Scar Reef, the top 4 spots in this little area. Mm-hmm. And none of them are going off. None of them. It's like dead.
That's what you were concerned about when you booked the trip.
I was worried because I knew there was a chance that I'd get there and there's no waves. And so I wake up to the realization that I just went through absolute hell to get to a place to surf where there's no crowd and there's no surf there. And so I'm just like all bummed and like realizing that I'm probably not going to be able to surf this trip. And I'm like, well, if I'm not going to surf, I'm going to fish because that's what I love doing. Fishing, just anything outdoors.
Yeah.
So I literally just go to this like homestay, which is where like a local will host like huts in their backyard for people to stay at.
Yeah.
And I walk up like I'm looking for a place to stay, and I'm just like, hey, I'm looking for a fishing trip. And they're like, go to the next place over, and then you'll talk to a guy named Indra. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And I walk over. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for Indra. They're like, oh, you need to talk to this person. They're friends with Indra's cousin. And if they're there, they'll put you in connection with who you need to get to Indra. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm on this like goose chase, trying to find this magical person.
Like when your grandpa found his wife? Great-grandpa?
I don't recall.
You said he like came up from Mexico up to Northern California, just asking everyone in the
sorta.
Have you seen?
Sorta. It was a.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was a process.
Inside family history joke.
That one didn't hit.
But no, it was.
So you found Indra.
I ended up.
You found Indra's cousin and cousin's dog. And their uncle.
Exactly. I ended up finding this guy. He's like an iconic spear fisherman in the area.
Sick.
And he's like, you need to talk to my buddy Santos. He'll hook you up with a fishing trip. So I talked to Santos. He's like an epic surfer, like epic surf photographer in Sambala. If you find his Instagram, it's like nothing but people just getting absolutely pitted out of their
What
minds.
is he? You want to plug him?
Yeah, I don't have his Instagram off the top of my head. It's like Santos Surf Photography or some Santos Sambala Photography or something like that. We'll
maybe CJ can
have
cue it
CJ.
up. Yeah,
exactly. But he's a super sick.
Telling CJ to cue it up.
Yeah.
Stuff.
But he's a super sick dude, and he was like, I told him I'm looking for a fishing trip. I'm in the area for like 3 days, and he said meet me at this restaurant at 4 a.m. tomorrow. And I was like, done. So I show up at 4 a.m. and I meet this Aussie guy who's Aussie, living in Zimbabwe. He's been there for like 25 years. 2 construction workers, local, barely speak English, and Santos. And he's like, all right, guys, together we're going to go find this boat captain. He's going to take us out to this area. We're going to fish. We're going to troll for sailfish and marlin for 2-3 hours. And then after that, we're going to bottom fish. It was like a big plan. It sounded like it was going to be great. And we get on the boat. We're eating nasi campur with our hands. I'm like on my hands and knees with like all these local guys just eating food. I was like, this is like the most local, rural Indonesian experience I could ever imagine. Like, I don't care if I surf a wave. I don't care if I catch a fish. Like, this was enough. Like,
but imagine if you went to a local tribe.
That
just kidding. Another inside joke.
Another inside joke, but
yeah, keep going.
God damn it.
God damn it, Steve. But it was really cool because I was like on this fishing boat, like in the middle of nowhere, like rafters off the side of the boat to keep us stable.
Sounds amazing.
Super amazing.
Sounds really cool.
And we don't really catch any fish. Like, we're trolling, we're listening to good music, we're hanging out. I'm talking to these guys.
What kind of music are you listening to?
Reggae, all reggae, like Bob Marley. Yeah, super island vibes.
Jordy liked.
Exactly.
Was into reggae.
Yeah, it's very reggae
thing,
culture.
Maybe.
Yeah. But we're listening to reggae and like some like rap music. It was fun. It was a super good time. And I'm just like loving that I got like a local rural experience. Like I feel like I got to see Indonesia outside of Bali and like the tourist areas. And I'm like just kind of reflecting on the whole day. It was a good day after just like 2 days of just absolute hell. And we're going back to port. We've been out in the water for like 6 hours at this point. And we're going back to the beach. And we're like maybe 10 minutes away from the beach. And we have lines out. We're trolling. Good music playing. Everybody's chill. Like, energy's high. Right. Energy's high. Everybody's happy. And we're coming up on this area, and we see like 5 boats around each other in like a circle. And I'm like, I think that's kind of weird. Like, I wonder why they're doing that. And as we get closer, somebody in that like group of boats gets on their bow, takes off their shirt, and starts waving us down. And the Australian guy goes, and I've been on boats like
what kind of boats are in a circle?
All wood.
All wood. Okay, so not like the kind of boat that you're on. Okay.
No, I'm on a wooden boat.
Oh, you're on a wooden boat.
They're all wooden cutout canoes.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's all they are.
How big was the boat that you're on?
Mine was big.
Okay.
So it was probably 25 feet.
And that's why they're waving you down, because your boat's bigger than theirs?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
We don't know why they're waving us down. I'm not too sure. But they're all in similar boats, a little bit smaller.
Okay.
They're all wooden cutout canoes with like 2 fingers that come out the front and the back, and they have like stabilizers on the side.
Yeah.
Like real true like Indonesian fishing boats.
Catamaran, right? Is that what it's?
I don't know.
The catamarans are the ones with the things on the side?
Yeah, it's that style, but like if you
Forget what
compare it
these
to
are
a modern
called.
one, you're gonna have the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Because these are all handmade, and so we're getting flagged down. We immediately stop our engine. We're kind of coasting up to these guys. And I look at the Australian guy. I'm like, what's going on? Because I know something's wrong. Like, I know something's wrong. And he's like, I think a boat sank. Like, I think a boat sank. And that's all he says. And I stand up on the bow. I'm, like, paying close attention to what's going on. And they're pulling in the lines, you know, because we want nothing out. And I turn around, and I see this dude floating in the water, face down.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, fucking body in the water, for sure.
Shut up.
Swear to God. And there's like the group of 5 boats right here. We're coming in this direction. We're probably like 300 yards away from them. So like close enough to see them, but you can't make out facial expressions yet. Mm-hmm. You can, like, their yells are just like distant voices at this point.
Okay.
And they're yelling at us, like they're yelling directly at us. And I see this like figure in the water. I don't know what. I was too far away to figure out what the condition of this person was in. And I turn around to the Australian guy. He's like, body in the water. That's all he says, body in the water. Mm. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And we start coasting up to this thing, and nobody's doing anything. I was like super shocked. Like, nobody's doing anything. Like, there's all these boats, and it looked like the boats were trying to position themselves where they could lift this person out of the water, but nobody was in the water. And I was like, and the water's calm. I was like, why is nobody in the water helping this person? Like, it seems like the obvious thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, someone help them.
Yeah.
If you don't know if they're what's going on yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we start to get close enough where we're the closest boat to this person. And what goes through my head from like, oh, this is a pretty crazy situation happening in front of me, to, okay, I might have to involve myself in this. Because, it started to get real pretty fast, where it was like, okay, we're now the closest boat to this person. Nobody else is doing anything. This just went from like, holy shit, to I might have to do something. Mm-hmm. And so I go up to the front of the bow, and I start to like get ready to fucking jump in.
So you're one of those people in those times, when these situations arise, you are...
I don't know.
You go into a different, I don't know.
Zone. I don't know. I've only been in a handful of scary situations like this. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to like be like, I'm the type of person that runs into fire. Like, you don't want to be that guy that says that, and then and then you see a shadow in your house. And you're like, what was that? So I'm not trying to say anything.
But anyway, you jump into some mode.
Yeah. Well,
whatever the mode was. Yeah.
I'm a good swimmer. I'm confident in my ability in the water. Okay. That's it. So like, there's somebody in the water. Nobody's doing shit. I'm gonna jump in. And so I go to the head of the boat, and I'm like, have my flip flops off. And it's clear that I'm about to do something, and the Australian guy goes, Justin, just wait. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna take this to the other level. Yeah. And so I'm standing on the bow, and we get close, and we realize the guy's face down, and I'm like, this guy's he's gone. He's gone.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. So there's no point in me jumping in for somebody who just died, and just make the situation worse.
Right.
And so I'm standing at the front of the boat, and our captain gets close enough, and my captain stops the motor, or stops the trolling motor, dives in with a tarp, and then covers this guy's body with the tarp. He covers this guy's body with the tarp, and then the police boat comes up, grabs him, and they hoist the body up out of the water in their boat, and they drive off. And our captain, who's like 6-year-old man, hops back into our boat, lights a cigarette, and was like, all right, guys, like, in Indonesian, like, good thing. It was kind of a dark moment, but he like made a joke. He's like, good thing we didn't catch that in our line. Like, says something along the lines of that. And so it was like something super dark and heavy, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I looked at the Australian guy, and I was like, I looked at him, I was like, does that happen often? And he was like, all the time.
Really?
All the time.
That's my first question was.
Exactly, because they were all lighthearted about it. Nobody was like super heavy about the whole situation.
So did you find out what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened was that person was a fisherman, and everybody fishes off the rocks in everywhere in Indonesia, but Sumbawa specifically, and their fishing culture is huge. And so he was fishing off the rocks 3 days prior, got washed off the rocks because it's gnarly. Like, it's when the tide comes up, it comes up significantly, and it's violent. So that person was washed off the rocks, and what I come to find out, like 90% of the local Indonesians don't know how to swim. Oh. Crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy. Remember the guy when we went to swim at Ulu?
Yeah.
At, like the little opening by the beach? And then this one super old guy, but like super ripped and just like, everyone's so like skinny and fit in Bali.
Mm-hmm.
This old, he had to be at least 60, right?
Yeah.
He was walking out there with his net, just like climbing over the rocks and everything, going out into like, who knows the fuck where.
Totally.
Into like this whole like weird thing.
Yeah. But apparently a lot of guys are doing that, even like fishing boat captains, and they don't know how to swim.
Huh.
And so this guy got washed off and just had no chance.
Weird that you live at the ocean, you don't know how to swim.
Yeah. Crazy.
So he'd been missing for 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay. And
So that 5 group of boats,
they knew.
they were looking for him.
That's why it was calm.
That's why it was calm.
Not calm, but somber, and just no one was trying to do anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was not a rescue mission. It was like a
recovery.
recovery.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was like intense.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dead person outside of a casket.
Yeah. It was tough. It wasn't like a deep. It was deep, but it was just like that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that shit happens.
Just got to joke about it, I guess.
Yeah, or laugh
I mean,
to
like-
avoid.
Yeah.
You either be happy or
Yeah.
you either be sad about it or make a joke about it.
You don't want to disrespect like the whole like I feel horrible for that guy, and that's not a good way to go out. And I hope that his family's able to find peace. But like at the end of the day, it's like that shit happens. You're a fisherman. You're on the rocks. Like I've been a fisherman before. Like commercially, it's shit goes down. Like
Yeah.
you're working with the Mother Nature. You're working in the ocean. Like it doesn't show mercy, and it's just like you have to respect that.
There's
So everybody
inherent
take your
risk.
swimming lessons.
Yeah.
If you're going to fish on the rocks, especially.
Mm-hmm.
But
Totally.
yeah, that's gnarly. That's really
Yeah.
crazy to see. I'm sure you're on this trip. You just had this day leading up to it, which was like, hellfire type 2 fun.
Yeah.
And you sleep, you wake up, no waves, and then you go fish. On your way in,
See, buddy. Yeah.
fucking dead body.
Yeah.
And your captain goes in
And
and tarps him up for the police boat. So your boat was very. You guys were the ones who essentially
yeah.
set it up.
Totally.
And this guy did they ever find out any more about this guy? Living nearby? Obviously living nearby, but.
He died. He died falling off the rocks in the bay directly below where my villa was. Like,
Oh, shit. So it was like everyone in the village. Mm-hmm. I mean, they all probably know each other. It's probably.
oh, it's a family.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They all, like, on the island, everybody's brother, sister.
Right.
Everybody's referred to as brother, sister.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my brother. That's my sister. Like, so it's tight. So, they all knew each other.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to the guys that I was with, they said, like, this happens all the time. At least, every couple months.
So did they have did they have a big rager for him that night? Drinking a rock and just freaking, I mean, that's.
Justin said there wasn't alcohol on the.
There wasn't.
It's a super strong Muslim island.
Ah.
So I was told this. I don't know if it's true, but apparently I
yeah.
could be corrected. But Indonesia might be the most
Hindu.
Muslim country out there.
No,
not
it's
too sure.
It's Hindu.
Hindu?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it is. Like Bali's all Hindu for the most part. But Lombok, Sumbawa, super strong Muslim culture.
Really? Okay.
Big time.
They had the prayers going on 5 times a day on the speaker system. Did you ever record it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but it was only in town. Like, again, it's super rural. So there's like one little market town area. And so, yeah, the prayers were going off all the time in that little area. But where you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't hear them.
Wow.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a different culture for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, our camera died. Phone might be running out, so we got to wrap this up. I got one final question for you.
Let's hear it.
And you spent a month and a half there. You've seen a lot of shit. You've got a lot of experiences. What was your favorite area in Bali? Is Sumbawa part of Bali, or is
No.
that okay? So what is your favorite
Overall? Good question. Overall,
Indonesia.
Yeah. So overall, I would say my favorite is Uluwatu, just because it has so much to offer you. It's got good waves. It's got good culture. The local people there are the nicest people and the most happy people I've ever met. Ever.
Agreed.
The tourists are super chill. They're all open for conversations. They seem super genuine. The waves in Uluwatu, the best on the whole island, in my opinion. To concentrate it down even further, I would say Bingin. If you're gonna stay in Bingin. I had the coolest experience.
Yeah, I think I met Binion's more the beginner kind of wave there, right?
Not really. It's a barreling left.
Penang's not. I don't think. I think
Peraranan was a
I think I
beginner
missed.
wave.
Yeah. But at Bingen, I've been. Yeah. Yeah.
Super cool spot. But I stayed in Bingen and absolutely fell in love with it. So, Uluwatu, Bingen, it's got something for everyone. Whether you're a surfer, you're looking for like a zen time to like get in touch with yourself and just relax and be by the ocean. Uluwatu can take that care of that for you. Obviously, if you're a surfer, it's going to take care of you. If you're looking for like a good time, nightlife, meet new people, Uluwatu, it's got options. So I'd say that's probably the best.
And stay tuned. In a couple of years, we might have a Host Stevie restaurant or team house.
That's right. Goals and aspirations.
Yeah.
Amen.
Write them down. Also, if you want to get mugged by or robbed by a unruly gang of monkeys too, right?
Yeah.
Didn't that happen to you?
Yeah, I had
Broke into your hotel?
Well, everyone warns you that
Yeah,
like, when you move into a house, they're like, close the doors and windows when you're gone.
They also tell you don't
monkeys-
bring
phones.
over by the cliff because they'll reach up and
Totally.
and snag them.
Yeah.
What, you forgot to close the windows?
I closed them, but I didn't lock them. They pushed the door open. They pushed the door open when I came back.
Smart boys.
Getting smart.
Smart boys.
Playing it at 8.
As ironic as it was, I walked into my villa and there was like 4 monkeys in there. One of them was, I swear to God, literally peeling a banana and eating a banana. I'm not even joking. I have a video of it.
One of them had lit a cigarette.
Lit a
too,
cigarette,
Wait. A lizard ate his mushrooms.
Yeah.
He
Did
left
you
them
follow
out,
that
he
lizard?
left them out to dry. I was like, you got to eat the lizard now.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to follow that lizard now.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that clip of the guy who's locked in a closet really high on acid and they have a cartoon lizard that's like voicing everything he says? He's just like talking to himself. He's like, I have balloon hands, man. How am I going to sell all these chairs? She's a chair man, dude.
Oh, man. He did a lot of acid, though.
Yeah.
You did?
I haven't.
No,
I mean,
no,
you're
no,
good.
no.
I haven't gotten to that.
My
part.
guy, yeah. Remind me of that lizard, but
That's funny.
yeah, okay. Well done.
Yeah.
Sounds like a hell of a trip, man.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna try to take the trip to Bali in 2024 because obviously it's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is our second podcast. I hope you guys liked it. What should we do after this?
I think we just say so long.
All right, see you guys on the next one.
Yeah. Later, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Nice, boys.
Sweet.